Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at self-defense doctrine in command modern operations. Now, a couple times recently people have been discussing kind of WRA and having a little bit of confusion with it, but that's okay because we hope to kind of sort that out a little bit for you today. So when you go ahead and open up your WRA, which is your weapon release authorization, I'm going to go ahead and cheat here. You can either run up here and go ahead and click that button if you have a group, or if you want to be lazy like me, you can press Control, Shift, and then F9. It's going to bring up your kind of doctrine and ROE. Now I'm going to head over to the WRA right in here, and you'll notice that my lovely little Arleigh Burke, chilling down here right now, the Bainbridge, has a bunch of different weapons on board. And what I've done before I actually started recording, so you didn't have to watch me click each one of these one at a time, is I went through and I made sure that all of my weapons are not automatic firing. Instead, they're all self-defense firing. Now, self-defense is an interesting thing, and I'll show you exactly why. For one, if you take a look at the maximum range of the weapons on this, you'll probably observe that I can hit a target that's 230 nautical miles away, but that's not even accurate. I can actually hit a target as far as 900 nautical miles away. Now, right now, all of the weapons on board this vessel have been told to only do self-defense. Now, if you look outside, we'll notice there's two different targets already. One of these targets is a Tupolev 95 RT, and of course we have another one way out west here, which is a Sukhoi 34 fullback. And one of the things you'll observe is now that I've set everything to automatic firing, if I unpause, you will see that my destroyer happily just sort of chugs away, just kind of doing its thing. They're probably monitoring, they're probably doing a little bit of panic right now as we're watching these two aircraft kind of bear down on them. The commander's looking over at the lieutenant's looking at the fire control guy, and they're all sitting here going, is this about to happen? Is this about to happen? But what you'll observe is nobody is pulling the trigger. Not only is nobody pulling the trigger, but watch this. I'm going to click on Auto Engage Target, and I'm going to go ahead and select the Tupolev 95. I'm going to go ahead and unpause. Now, you're expecting any second now for an ESSM or maybe an SM-6 to come ripping off the barrel and attack that. But believe it or not, my ship will not fire any weapons whatsoever at this airplane because their WRA says not to do any automatic fire. Now you're sitting here going, well, this is actually not very optimum because if you want to engage this target automatically, I'm not going to shoot at it because the WRA says only use the weapon for self-defense. Yeah, it actually gets better than that. If I were to Shift F1, which is a manual attack, and click on the RT, what you'll notice here is we are allowed to manually allocate weapons, which is pretty handy for us. One of the things you'll notice, though, is it will warn us, do not use weapons against this target type. It will literally not auto-fire, but we can manually fire should we need. Now, this is where things get a little complicated. Over on my left here, we've got the Sukhoi 34, which is ripping across about 12,000 feet. He's probably lighting him up with his laser about now, getting ready to deploy his weapons on our lovely Bainbridge right now. Now, what you're going to observe is kind of interesting. Also, he's going to get a little bit closer. Oh boy, he's going for that beam shot here. Let's go ahead and double check to make sure he didn't accidentally, which is something I do every time. Check this one. Oh, we're so close to being in range. Ah, shucks. All right, we'll let him continue his attack here. So in a few moments, he's going to go ahead and drop a bunch of weapons on my lovely destroyer here. There it goes. Now watch what happens. You'll observe my destroyer is going to go ahead and defend itself automatically. Yeah, not only is it going to defend itself automatically, it's probably not going to do the world's greatest job against it because that was basically a point-blank shot here. So at the moment, here they come. The SMs are going to come ripping off the side of the deck here. Unfortunately, the way that the fire control works on this one is it's very difficult to queue up all these attacks. There we go. So we've got a bunch there. We've got a bunch here. Comes the last SM. And you'll notice the target, of course, is he's going right for this one. Oh, sea-whiz time. Sea-whiz time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. Oh, we took a hit. Now, one of the things you'll observe here is my Sukhoi 34 was never, ever shot at. Which you'll actually have observed, and you'll see still here, we still have plenty of stuff working on the ship, trust me, that at no point did we actually shoot at it. It looked like we did, but that was actually a missed missile against one of the incoming missiles. So even though this aircraft attacked this destroyer, he is not going to shoot back. Now, we can't have it end that way, of course, so we got a thing for that, so I'm not too worried. Eat SM. So the important thing you have to know about self-defense is it only defends itself against things attacking it. It doesn't defend it against the actual platform that is attacking it. That's a very, very important distinction because without that, that makes things a little bit more challenging. So one of the things you'll have to remember going forward is if you are interested in making sure that no aircraft can get that close to us, you would actually have to change your doctrine in such a way that when you fire, you have the ability to basically kind of maybe have a more limited range. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick and I'll kind of show you the difference. Oh man, this Sukhoi 34 is just not going down today. What? You've got to be kidding me. Okay, those are all spoofed, by the way. Fascinating. Let's go modify things a little bit. All right, same scenario, but we're going to change our logic a little bit. I'm going to Control Shift F9, go to my WRA, and I'm going to adjust it so that I'm allowed to fire these against targets that kind of get within my safety window, kind of like that minimum range there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and set this to the normal. I'll go ahead and do a pair, which is pretty good. Do a pair of these, looks pretty good. Again, a pair is perfectly fine. A pair is perfectly fine, looks pretty good to me. Now what I'm going to do is come to my automatic firing range. Now normally this is a 22 nautical mile weapon, but what I'm going to do is say that anybody within 15, that's getting a little bit too close. So what I'm going to do is come in here and say it to be 50%, so that if anybody does get within that range, we do it. But it doesn't change the fact that we will self-defend ourselves in the event that we get shot at right away. Now, this tiny little change is going to have a pretty big impact. Now, coming down here, let's see here, we have the SM6 Block 1A, SM6 Block 1A, that's the one we've got here. We'll come in here, of course, so we'll adjust this one. Now we'll say, we'll just do 1. These things are really, really big and very, 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 very expensive weapons. Now, one of the things you'll find very, very interesting here, I find this kind of interesting, is if you go to the automatic firing range, you'll see our max range is 172 miles. So I'm going to set this one down to 15 as well, but I'm going to do a little tiny cheat here. Remember that obnoxious Tupolev 95 over there? Let's get some revenge. Airborne, early warning, and control. Let's see, actually, we need reconnaissance. Low performance, reconnaissance. There we go. Low performance. That's what I want right there. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the maximum range of engagement to 50 nautical miles. Again, this is automatic firing range, not self-defense range. All right, let's watch the scenario and see what happens differently this time. So same kind of thing happens. You'll notice that SM6 comes off the rail right away. Yeah, that's getting some revenge right there. Of course, this is well less than 50 miles, so no problem. And of course, our Sukhoi 34 thinks he's feeling pretty confident here. Wham! Eat it. So, whoa. So what you'll notice here, if I almost didn't fast forward through it, is as soon as my airplane got within 50 nautical miles, which is what I said, he's now automatically firing his missile at him. Now, the reason this is an interesting variation on a theme is what you can do as a scenario designer is you can basically decide that, what we're going to do is we're going to say you can come no closer than 10 nautical miles within a ship or something like that, and basically dare the players to get into that range without compromising the fact that these ships will still defend themselves against incoming weapons. Enjoy.